This message is for former President Barack Obama. It seems like at the services, you were focused on letting people know that you were going to be the next leader of Black America. And I'm asking you kindly to please leave us alone. Good morning. This is P. Ray, and I want to say happy Monday. I am here because I attended Reverend Jackson's funeral, and I want to give my condolences to the Jackson family and say thank you to Reverend Jackson for everything that you've done for our people nationally and here in the great city of Chicago. This message is for former President Barack Obama. It seems like at the services, you were focused on letting people know that you were going to be the next leader of Black America. And I'm asking you kindly to please leave us alone. We don't need another leader. You had 8 years to do what you needed to do for us, and we lost 70% of our collective wealth. The only thing that we got from the Obama administration was a bunch of vacant lots that are now driving up our property taxes and exacerbating flooding issues. We want to be able to create our own leadership. People who are my age voted for you as teenagers and young adults, and we watched our communities crumble for 8 years. We don't have 8 more years for you. So please leave the plight of Black Chicago alone and let us heal from the damage that you've already inflicted on us. Shout out to former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. for calling out the political grandstanding that took place at his father's funeral. I, too, was not impressed because Reverend Jackson deserved more than for his funeral to be turned into a DNC rally, the same group of people that is actively hurting the city of Chicago, specifically the Black community. Vote red instead, and I hope to see you at the polls next Tuesday.
Yes, we have seen this over and over, how Democrats use Black people for their political gains, and it is not stopping anytime soon. We just witnessed what Obama, Biden, Kamala, what they did. It didn't go well with some people. Yeah. If you see I take up 2-3 days to report on a topic, that's to tell you how people are faring on the street. Most of the videos I reacted, share on this platform, was just to enlighten people on what is going on. If I don't show you, you will not see from the mainstream media. Check if you see them reporting how people are reacting to these videos. Because of the midterm approaching, Obama thought this is the best strategy for them to start, energizing their base. But they did it wrongly, not in a funeral. This has actually caused a lot of problem into this party.
Here's Barack Obama, same thing, disrespecting the wishes of the family.
We are living in a time when it can be hard to hope.
Democrats lost a major election, a big Senate election, kind of by doing the same thing back in the day where they came out and kind of used it as a party and a political rally at a funeral. Separate from even the use of politics here, can we at least agree that when you're at a funeral, it's not about you? Like it's about the person who, and like,
yes.
What
that should be clear.
Right. This is supposed to be a celebration of their lives, not a remembrance of their lives, not supposed to be something where you come out and talk about your stutter. Like that's just making their life about you. Yeah. Just have a little bit of, just be humble a little bit and maybe talk about the things you admired about them solely. And you might say, well, wait a minute, where's the time where I get to talk about my cleft palate potential back in the day? This is
that age-old
like there's just not
question.
An opening for it. Mm-hmm.
That's an age-old question. When going to a funeral and making remarks, where do I get to talk about my cleft palate? In Kamala Harris's case, clearly this is like the 2028 kickoff. She's like, yeah, if you could drop some confetti after I finish, that'd be terrific. Some balloon drop, perhaps, that would really help me out. Here was Jesse Jackson Jr. reacting to the naked self-promotion of these three.
Yesterday, I listened for several hours of 3 United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson. He maintained a tense.
So I want to know why this man had to make a video after his father's funeral condemning 3 former presidents about what they did at his father's funeral.
Yesterday, I listened for several hours of 3 United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson.
No, wait. He actually spoke before his father's funeral and say, do not make this a political thing.
Do not bring your politics out of respect to Reverend Jesse Jackson and the life that he lived to these homegoing services. Right. Come respectful and come to say thank you.
But no, they couldn't help themselves. They still had to do what Democrats do. They made it political at Reverend Jesse Jackson's funeral. And I'm glad he's calling it out.
Each day we wake up to some new assault on our democratic institutions.
Because see, when the average Joe Schmo like us point it out and say, hey, y'all don't see that? Oh, we're doing something wrong. We're haters. We're lunatics. We're crazy. What was the reason that y'all would stand up at this man's funeral and not talk about his life, his legacy?
You know, what is funny about this whole thing is just the fact that Kamala Harris is still doing the same thing. You know, I thought maybe Kamala Harris will come in now and maybe try to be a different kind of person. You know, maybe learn from her past mistakes during the campaign period. If you look at what she is still doing, the way she speaks, the way she changes tone, the kind of same phrases, you know, she is supposed to rebrand like different phrases. This is just what I noticed throughout just looking at Biden. Everyone knew that, you know, what he's doing. Maybe he doesn't even understand what was happening. Maybe he's reading on the script what his team gave him, you know, things like that. As of Obama, it's not something strange. Obama is fond of that. So when I saw his own, you know, at some point I began to ask myself, like, what is all this? You hijack a funeral to pass your own political messages. After they have taught you at the beginning, please don't use this venue for your political messages. If that man didn't even mention this, I would say no, maybe they never knew that they are not supposed to do that. It is a problem to a lot of people. Yeah, because they are complaining. They are putting out videos upon clips about this whole situation. So when I see people say, oh, why are Republicans taking this to another new level reaction? We should react, yeah, to make people understand that this is uncalled for. Any little opportunities, someone get up in the mic, come on, they start pouring out their, you know, why should you be telling your own personal story during a funeral? I want to hear you talk about, you know, the person's story, how this, at the end of the day, actually understand that these people don't even know who actually passed away. Because if they actually knew him that much, they could have been saying things that can relate to him, past history. That is what I expected. But at the end of the day, everyone is stuck with this.
Set back to the idea of an expertise denigrated while
the trap that Trump laid in the State of the Union address. And the Democrats didn't stand. I mean, obviously, it's a it's a deliberate trap, because you know they always played these games of Simon Says there at the State of the Union.
Well, I think you and I agree on this is all
through to get here. Trump, go Trump! Hey Murphy, you're scumbag. Thanks, man.
Our chamber is chanting USA. This is a sick person. The first lady.
I was there, and It was as horrific as I thought it would be.
She wasn't the only one. Look at SOT 35, CNN's Abby Phillip.
But he utilized almost like these game show type moments where you're seeing awards being presented.
They're just so disgusting.
Of course, he chose who did not vote in his favor and did not shake her hand there.
Here's the video. He shook everyone's hand. Everyone. There's the Chief Justice. All of them got their hands shaken to the point where they had to come back on the air and say this in SOT 33.
But we should point out as he walks in, he's pretty close to the justices again as he comes down on the floor, that he did shake their hands there this evening.
Moment. No, that's not what happened at all.
Democrats to stand for the slain passenger in North. Our first priority is Americans rather than illegal on either of those two. I think they took his bait.
Can take away from the joyous moment as all Americans. And why are they putting a medal?
Oh, he's already under scrutiny for 1,000 reasons. Carol Patel posted this on X.
Job. I get suspicious when any
person's home. It's very easy to.
This is for the people in the United States who are terrorized and scared today.
The country's in such emotional turmoil.
And Republicans on both sides. You're
so amazing. And wasn't it so great?
When it can be hard to hope.
Hey, girl.
Now, the funeral for the late Reverend Jesse Jackson was held today.